Here's a question we don't ask enough. When you flick a switch, where does that light actually come from? But you know what? Behind every glow, be it a classroom in Odisha shining through the monsoon, or a welding machine sparking in Delhi, or a street lamp in Mumbai, there's a vast, mostly invisible machine at work. And that machine? It's changing, and fast. From the country's tallest substations to its most remote solar homes, this is the grid carrying more than energy. It's carrying trust and progress.
Tata Power. Sustainable is attainable.
When we talk about the future of energy, it's usually the solar farms and wind turbines that grab headlines. But here's the truth. The real test of an energy system isn't just generation.
Transmission and distribution network has to cater to the demand. What is required is a proper planning of your expansion of transmission and distribution networks. So in nutshell, the expansion planning has to be very scientific.
Because what happens after electricity is produced? That invisible choreography between towers, substations, wires, and humans. That is what decides if your fan spins, your factory hums, or your fridge stays cold. This is the path electricity takes before it ever reaches you. A simple picture of a very complex system. In the midst of these changing times, Tata Power has learned to adapt, leveraging technology and trust. Tata Power today is a leading power distributor serving 12.9 million customers through networks in Mumbai, Delhi, and Odisha, as well as Ajmer. And Tata Power is making these giant strides in electricity distribution while ensuring safety at every step, be it through the Suraksha Kavach or its VR and 4D Safety Training Center. And that's where we begin, Mumbai, a city of prosperity and aspirations, where power cannot afford to wait. In Mumbai, everything is vertical: towers, timelines, and traffic. The city grows upwards, outwards, and always in a hurry. And behind that motion is a power system that has had to become just as dynamic. From one of India's first underground substations hidden beneath South Mumbai to a high-rise substation on the 44th floor of a residential tower. In South Mumbai, space is scarce. Every square meter is a fight. That's why one of India's first 400 kVA underground substations was built directly beneath this commercial hub. Here, 22 kilovolts of electricity flow silently behind reinforced walls and pressurized switchgear, hidden directly beneath the city streets, out of sight, out of space, but powering everyday life. Today, it transmits 400 kVA of power with capacity to scale to 1600 kVA in the future, enough to serve 500 mid-income households.
Here we try to identify one solution wherein this leakage issue during the rain can be solved and the space can be optimized for electrical substation. The components, the termination are special category wherein the special insulation and special sealants have been used so that there should not be any leakage of electricity from inside out, or outside water should not go in. Here if you see, everything is submersible rated, so there is no leakage or no maintenance is required. Even transformer is maintenance free, RM is maintenance free, nothing is open outside the atmosphere, and even after the submersion also it is working, no dust ingress, no water ingress, so maintenance is not required.
And in a city where rain can drown entire streets, this substation is flood resilient. Its submersible equipment is designed to keep running even underwater. Even in the worst downpour, the lights stay on. The connectors here weren't imported. They were designed and developed indigenously, tailored for Mumbai's needs. From underground to overground. In this residential skyscraper, an elevator doesn't just take you to an apartment. It takes you to a substation on floor 44. This is where vertical living meets vertical power. To overcome voltage drops for residents living hundreds of meters above ground, Tata Power embedded the substation at height. Three 1000 kVA transformers sit on floor 44, powering 76 floors without compromise. The benefits? No voltage drop, reliable, high-quality power supply for every resident, ground space freed for parking and a spacious lobby, and dual metering schemes for continuity even if one grid fails. What's more, the architecture didn't just make room for power. Power became part of the architecture.
This is actually creating a trend in terms of the kind of substations that Mumbai city is going to see. This has been specially customized to make it suitable in terms of optimization of space, in terms of getting the right kind of power supply, in terms of quality, in terms of reliability. Pile earthing that we have, done this, and we have the value here. This project has actually set a benchmark for the city in terms of establishing substations at higher levels. Nowhere in the city is there. In fact, nowhere in the country do we have a substation at 44 level. So what we are doing is that we are trying to replicate this model elsewhere in the city.
Power delivery in Mumbai is a story of precision under pressure. A grid that has learned to adapt to the constraints of a vertical, high-density city and found new ways to stay reliable. But precision isn't just about building upwards or going underground. It's also about intelligence, about anticipating demand. Not just knowing where the load is, but where it will be. To get a glimpse of how this load is managed across cities, we are headed to Delhi, a city where the grid has started thinking for itself. A city like Delhi never sleeps, and neither can its power supply. For over 21 lakh customers across North and Northwest Delhi, Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited ensures the lights stay on 24/7. And the heart of Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited, or TPDDL, is a command center unlike any other, supporting critical infrastructure around the clock.
This command center is basically responsible to supply reliability and quality power to 21 lakh consumers of North and Northwest Delhi, spread in an area of 510 square kilometers. The power system control center works 24/7, which is responsible to supply uninterrupted power to the consumers.
Here, teams monitor, predict, and respond in real time, powered by a unique homegrown blend of innovation and skill.
So we have every substation is automated with the advanced distribution management system with the help of optical fibers.
The advanced SCADA system, it helps us in identifying the right equipment which has gone faulty, and it also helps us in isolating that equipment and supplying reliable power to our customers. So in this command center, there is a designated person who is known as power manager, who works continuously in shifts 24/7 to ensure 100% power availability as per the requirement of Delhi customers.
Delhi is dynamic in its people, culture, and weather. And since the demand forecast depends on all these factors, TPDDL works with extremely dynamic and complex algorithms.
Delhi's power use is too dynamic and diverse for fitting the global ready-made solutions.
The right demand forecast is very much essential, and the demand forecast is dependent on two parameters. The first parameter is the consumer behavior, and it also varies as per the economic or any social activity which is going on in the society. And the second most important point is the weather forecast. The consumption is also related to the temperature, humidity, wind speed, and other weather parameters. The right weather forecast is an essential component for right demand forecast.
Smart meters track the real-time consumption of individual customers. The energy portfolio management tool forecasts demand, allowing TPDDL to buy just the right amount of power from the local grid, optimizing costs even during high demand times.
The energy portfolio management tool, which software which we have, gives demand forecast with a very high accuracy in intraday, which in turn reduces the power cost and benefits the consumers.
We have customized it as per our requirement and it fulfill our regulatory needs. We are using this software for real-time power scheduling, trading and dispatching. So overall, it is really helping us to manage our portfolio management on regular basis.
In a city that never slows down, this is where the pace is set. From forecasting storms to catching faults before they happen, the TPDDL command center is proof that reliable power isn't just about supply. It's about foresight, innovation, and constant watch. Watching Delhi's grid in action, power forecasted, simulated, rerouted in real time. It's easy to forget that there are places where none of this exists, where there is no grid, no feeder, no meter. And yet, the need for electricity is just as urgent. In fact, more so. Because when a place has been in the dark for decades, a single working bulb can mean safety, mobility, even dignity. And that's the next part of this journey, deep into Odisha's forests. To SLS Memorial School in Badam Pahad, where Tata Power, in partnership with local community, is powering a residential school with a solar microgrid.
Tata Power. Sustainable is attainable. Tata Power. Sustainable is attainable.
The story of power isn't only about grids and numbers, it's about people. And sometimes it's about how a single school in a quiet corner of Odisha can light up an entire community's future. And to know this story, we take a deep dive into Odisha's Mayurbhanj district to SLS Memorial Residential School in Badam Pahad, founded by Honorable President Draupadi Murmu in memory of her husband and children. Built for the most vulnerable and now transformed by the power of the sun. Set in the forests of Badam Pahad, SLS Memorial Residential School is more than just classrooms. It's a shelter, a home, and a future for 137 children, many from marginalized communities across Odisha's tribal belt. But for years, the school battled electricity. Frequent outages, unstable voltage, lights flickered out at night. Students and staff relied on diesel generators and charger lamps just to get through their days.
झड़ तोफान हेले विशेषकर खरा दिन में विद्युत विभ्राट बा लो भोल्टेजर समस्या देखा जाउथला दैनंदिन नित्यकर्म पई जड़र आवश्यकता रसोईवास पीवा पानी बा पाठ पढ़ारे विशेष भाव में प्रभावित होउथले किंतु एही समय रे हमकु टीपीएन ओडीएल सहयोगर हाथ बढ़ाइथिले विद्यालय रे सोलार इंस्टॉलेशन करी ए सब समस्यार समाधान करि पारिसंती पिला मानकर सुविधा पई आमे पंखा कूलर तापरे फ्रिज ए सब रो व्यवहार करि पारुछु.
Today, under Project Sauryan, a 6 kWp rooftop solar unit powers the entire school. Implemented by TPDDL with support from MNRE and OERC, the system has ended the cycle of outages and high bills. Even during occasional grid cuts, the solar keeps the school running. With Tata Power's solar partnership, that mission has a new ally, the sun. Powering light, learning, and bringing a little more hope in the forests of Mayurbhanj. The solution gets further strengthened by Tata Power's electricity distribution networks spanning all corners of Odisha and fulfilling the government's plans of universal electricity. But Odisha's story doesn't stop at its forests. In Bhubaneswar, it takes on a very different face. Here, the same backbone of reliable power and infrastructure is drawing global companies to set up shop. Companies like Deloitte, who see in Odisha not just potential, but a place where talent and opportunity can finally meet. It's a story of two Odishas, from a residential school in the hills to a world-class office in the capital. both powered by the same idea that electricity is just not about lights and fans. It's about keeping futures right here at home. For Odisha, this marks a quiet but powerful shift. Global companies are setting up here, and one of the key reasons is reliable power. Just a few years ago, frequent power cuts made IT operations nearly impossible. Today, stable supply and modern infrastructure are rewriting the story.
What we realized during the COVID period is that tier 2, tier 3 cities and towns, we have a lot of our talent pool based out of those cities and towns. So what we thought is that post-COVID, when we were expanding, it is worth expanding in these tier 2, tier 3 cities.
I had always thought that no, I will do something here in Bhubaneswar. I was just looking for an opportunity, and at that time we really didn't have so many opportunities that we could have even thought of. But the Lloyd Bhubaneswar, the office that has come up, that really had changed the perspective that people here are having, the youth, the upcoming generations. They have really now thought like, yes, we can do something here, staying in Odisha, staying near, close to our families, having the comfort of our own region and language. That really motivates us.
When I was growing up in the 80s, and electricity supply disruption was a major challenge in many states. But Odisha was one of the progressive states where they've gone ahead, done the reform of the power sector. They've in fact privatized, and now Tata Power is operating. So obviously over a period of time, the quality of power supply has improved in the state.
From classrooms to corporate corridors, Odisha's story is being rewritten, powered by reliable infrastructure and the talent it sustains. But while Bhubaneswar is looking outward to the world, there are places deep in its forests that have only just seen their very first light. Our journey now moves to Simlipal, a village that lived in darkness for generations, until TPDDL's efforts brought electricity to its homes. In the heart of Odisha's Simlipal forest lies a village that until recently had never known what electricity felt like. No grid, no poles, no wires. For generations, darkness after sunset was just a way of life here. This is where TPDDL stepped in. Not with a big substation or a high-tech control room, but with the simplest promise to bring light where there had never been any.
इनिशियली जो प्रोजेक्ट आम आरंभ करूँ आम गोटे प्रथम गोटे आडभर्स सिचुएसन पाइलु वेदर तापर आम आनंदर गोटे आडभर्स कंडीशन पाइलु ये रोड कंडीशन जो मुझे गोटे प्रपोजाल आम गवर्नमेंट को देलु जे यहाँ आम गोटे एड बड़ा करूँ या मेन्टेनान्स करने 25 वर्ष दरकार मैन पावर जहाँ गवर्नमेंट इमिडिएटली गोटे अप्रूव देता आम से पर ग्रिड हिसाब से आम 2 लोक लेखा रखिलु से आम पूरा गोटे 2 मासिया ट्रेनिंग देलु ये सोलार केमती रक्षणाबेक्षण करेंगे केमती परिष्कार करेंगे आ गोटे बड़ जिन कह ये आम आ भितर 17टा माइक्रोग्रिड 18टा माइक्रोग्रिड कर 17टा माइक्रोग्रिड ये मयूरभंज जिले में गोटे माइक्रोग्रिड आम जोड़े कर
Today, over 2,400 homes run on solar microgrids and standalone AC systems, designed and installed by the DISCOMs under the Biju Gram Jyoti Yojana, built for simplicity, reliable, plug and play, and easy to maintain right here in the village. For Kusunu Barja, electricity didn't just light up his home, it lit up his future. From a financially challenged family that once survived on forest produce, Kusunu almost gave up on his dreams. But when the microgrid came to his village Barsia, life changed.
तापर मो गाँव थे से माइक्रोग्रिड आमर जहाँ है से कम करने पिला खोजुले मुझे मो ना देती मत ट्रेनिंग डकाला डिवाइन कॉलेज को से ट्रेनिंग देले इलेक्ट्रिक विषय में आम से पढ़ी आसिक माइक्रोग्रिड कार्य कर माइक्रोग्रिड जॉब करूँ
TPDDL recognized his potential, trained him in solar maintenance at Divine Engineering College, and today Kusnu earns 15,000 rupees a month as a grid operator. With a stable income, he supports his family and prepares for the OAS exams, determined to chase the dreams he once thought impossible.
ଅନ୍ଧାରରେ ବହୁତ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ହେଉଥିଲା ପଢ଼ିବା ପାଇଁ କି ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଲାଇନ୍ ଆସିଲା ପଢ଼ିବା ପାଇଁ ବି ସୁବିଧା ହେଇପାରୁଛି ଏଇ ଆଲୋକ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଆମକୁ କିଛି ସକ୍ସେସ୍ର
Kusunu's story is one of opportunity. A young man who found not just electricity, but a profession and a path forward. But electricity also brings change of another kind, the power to grow a livelihood. For Durga, a small snack stall near the Barehi Pani waterfall was once the only source of income. With no electricity, business stopped with the rains. His yearly earnings barely reached 40,000.
आमर जो 20 वर्ष तलर कथा कहबी सेते बेले बहुत असुविधा थिला लाइट रो बहुत असुविधा सेते बेले हम केरोसिन मिलुतरा डिबी रे जड़ेई की लोक लाइट टाको लगाउथिले.
But with solar power, everything changed. His income soared to over 4 lakhs a year, and with it came jobs for 5 to 6 local youth and a cook. From a humble snack stall in the forest to a thriving hotel for tourists, Durga is a proof that when the lights come on, businesses and dreams expand. This is electrification without the grid. 2,460 homes powered, 36 tribal youth trained, and countless lives transformed. In Simlipal, electricity isn't just about power. It's about presence, about possibility, and about people lighting up their own future. From Mumbai's vertical substations to Delhi's predictive grid, for Simlipal's solar homes deep in the forest, to residential school in Badam Pahad, and even to a global office in Bhubaneswar, these stories remind us that transmission and distribution is not just about poles and wires. It is a delivery system for reliability, for trust, and for inclusion. And in a country as complex as India, the grid cannot look the same everywhere. It has to be smart in cities, resilient along our coasts, and imaginative in our forests. Because as India moves to cleaner energy, this system will carry more than just electricity. It will carry the future.
Tata Power. Sustainable is attainable.